Good evening and welcome to the David Braley Athletic Recreation Center. We are here for a night of basketball between the Mohawk Mountaineers team and the Cambrian Golden Shield.
That's right, Kyler, and Mohawk 2-1, something that we didn't think we were going to see given their first game of the season in their home opener against Redeemer where they dominated them.
That's right, Greg. Well, this Mohawk team has looked dominant at times, going 10-0 in the regular season, and then that first game against Redeemer that you mentioned, they looked dominant throughout most of the game, but then Redeemer did come back a little bit, and Mohawk was able to come away with a 5-point win. 2-1 on the season. They did suffer a tough loss to Sinclair, and they're coming off a victory against Lambton in their most recent game.
That's right, and in that game against Sinclair, they went up against a team that went 15 for 31, and they still only lost by 5 points, which is either a testament to their interior defense or kind of a front to their exterior defense.
Yes, that Sinclair team was 15 of 31 from the three-point line, as you mentioned, Greg, and some tough perimeter defense from the Mountaineers team, but they were able to bounce back with a win in their last game.
That's right. We have an interview. John Tonin is courtside right now with head coach Brian Jonker of the Mohawk Mountaineers.
Brian Jonker. Coach, how did the preseason prepare you for the games, the regular season games?
I'm not sure. Well, you get a good opportunity to look at people on the other side. You obviously get an opportunity to start to see where you are as a team and to implement different systems and see where you can go and what type of group that you have.
What's the strategies for tonight's game?
Well, we're going to worry about doing what we do best, getting out and running, rebounding, playing well as a team. The guys share the ball really well, so that'll be an emphasis tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, no problem.
Back to you, Kyler and Greg. Thank you.
That's right, Kyler, and we talk about Mohawk's bench and their depth of scoring that they've had. In a number of their games, they've had almost no one on their bench that's played any fewer than 3 minutes, and that, keeping fresh legs on the court is a very important aspect of their game.
Well, that's right, Greg. There's a lot of depth on this Mountaineers team, also a lot of veteran players. A number of players on this team this year were also on the championship-winning team from 2 years ago, and I think we have another interview coming up from John with the coach of the Golden Shield.
That's right.
Thanks, Greg. I'm here with Cambrian coach Richard Whitfield. Coach, how did the preseason prepare you for the regular season games?
We really had a tough preseason. We played a lot of CIS teams, Carleton, Ottawa U, so top teams in the nation. So it really kind of got our rookies playing at a higher level than they should be right now. We're a young team, so we needed to kind of get our butts handed to us early. So.
What's the strategy for tonight?
These guys are tough. Mohawk's big. We're probably one of the smallest teams in the West, so it's basically try to play fundamental and push the ball on them as much as we can.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Back to Tyler and Greg.
And we have the starting lineups for both squads coming up now. First, the Golden Shield.
And at forward, number 54, Peter Ruach.
And now the starting lineup for the Mountaineers.
Now for your Mohawk College Mountaineers. Starting at guard, standing 6'3" out of Oak Ridge, Toronto, number 4, Alex. Starting at guard.
And at guard, at Zenis Brereton. At the other guard spot, Alex Reese, the
Big
veteran.
man, Alex Reese, that's right.
The big man with the soft touch, too. And Andrew Cicatini, the forward, he's really been the most consistent player for the Mountaineers squad so far this season. Matt Fennell, another veteran player in the starting lineup for the Mountaineers. And last but not least, the big man, Taylor Dowhanick.
And we're about to tip off here at the D-Bark. Should be an interesting matchup tonight. As we see Matt Fennell participating in Movember, I think.
Is that a mustache on his face there?
I'm not sure, Kyler. It looks like it could be one soon.
It has potential.
Much like this Mountaineers team, and we'll see how it affects his game tonight. He might have to shave it at halftime.
We'll keep an eye out for that as the game wears on. Exenis Brereton with the ball early, and Alex Reese in this game is off to a quick pace right away. And this Cambrian team is very vocal on defense, trying to confuse the Mountaineers early on. Sneaky pass by Brereton, mishandled by Dowhanick. Now we come the other way. That's Zachary Minty, passes it over to Caleb Janachuk. And rebounded by Dowhanick. Matt Fennell brings the ball up court now. He finds Brereton. He gets pushed, no call. Brereton finishes the basket anyway.
And X puts that one away.
And I think there could have been a foul call on that one. We'll see how the refs officiate this game going forward.
Little creative defense there by by Taylor Dowhanick.
And he's really the anchor of this Mountaineers defense. He gets a lot of blocks inside. His length is really valuable to this squad. And we see Sicatini using his length as well to tip that ball out of bounds.
And Dowhanick is not just a big man, not just tall, and he has that reach. He's very quick too. And that's kind of a deadly combination when you have to fight that down low.
And the three from outside, it's good. That is Kevin Cole with the long distance three ball.
And Kevin Cole's having an exceptional season at Cambrian as well.
Here's Matt Fennell, cross court to Exenis Brereton. And that is good, nothing but the bottom of the net for Brereton. He's off to a quick start with 5 points. And Greg, we really saw a good connection between Fennell and Brereton in the first home game against Redeemer.
That's right, the new addition of Fennell has been extremely advantageous and has created a lot of chemistry with Brereton. And we see Minty there again, and the threes are just raining down in this game so far.
It looks to be a high-scoring, fast-tempo game so far. And Dowhanick battled for the rebound, but he stepped on the out-of-bounds line as he came down with it.
Yeah, good effort, but he just came out of bounds there, and we see Caleb Janchuk taking this one.
And Minty to Cole for another long distance shot, and that is good. Cole splashes another one.
And we're seeing a lot of energy early on in this game.
And Brereton has his pocket picked by Minty. Miss, but Cole's there. Brereton comes away with it though, and now Mohawk going the other way. Brereton, the shot.
And a lot of energy really early on in the game. And we have big man Reese.
Reese gets the ball back, finds Sicatini, and he will head to the free throw line.
And it's important to draw that foul early. I mean, you got a 4-point deficit really early on. You want to try to cut that off. And we'll see Sicatini head to the charity stripe.
And this Cambrian team really does not look intimidated at all, at least so far, by this Mountaineers team.
A lot of energy from them. And I think they adopt the same playing style as Mohawk as well. They seem very aggressive, and they don't have a lot of size either.
Here's Kevin Cole getting tripped up hard by Alex Reese.
And Reese just kind of a bystander there.
Kevin Cole lines up at the free throw line for a pair.
And Jonker having a quick word with his team. A little bit of confusion there. While Cole is at the free throw line.
Front rim on the first.
And now another 4-point deficit for the Mountaineers.
And Mohawk sets up their offense. Alex Reese being double teamed now Ball nearly stripped. Down low, misfire, rebound to Cicatini. Outlet pass to Matt Fennell. Look for him to find Alex Reese down low, and a three-point play potentially coming up here from Alex Reese.
Reese, talk about a big man with a lot of moves. And you do not expect someone that size to move like he does.
He's really got the soft touch, and you would not think that when you first look at him step onto the court.
That's right, he's a very intimidating player as well, and I think that's part of his game. And he's been incredibly effective for Mohawk as a niche player, just kind of coming out of nowhere.
And now we have Cambrian looking to really push the tempo. Golden Shield with the misfire on the...
And we talked about how effective Dalhanic is, and we see that there, no call. And he was exceptional blocking that shot.
He sure altered it. Now Reese from way downtown. Dial it up from downtown.
And both teams are right in their stride right now. We see Mohawk taking the first lead.
And Matt Fennell comes away with the steal and the bucket.
And I guess that Mo is helping him out. And Mohawk, the application of pressure is an art defensively for them, as we see this team starting to change the momentum in the game.
Matt Fennell dials it up.
And like that, we have a 7-point lead from the Mountaineers.
How quickly the tables will turn. Now a 3-on-1 fast break. Dalhanic the only man back, and he's able to stop Kevin Cole from going to the basket.
And you can see Cole visibly cautious around Dalhanic.
You know, it's really a benefit when you have a big man down low who can anchor your whole defense. And Kevin Cole's able to hit the floater anyway. Brereton pulls up for three, just off the mark. That's not really a shot that's in Mohawk's offense. They want to work the ball, pass it around a little bit more.
That's right. They want to have a little more time with the ball to get set up and perform those execution-based play style they have.
And the ball tipped, but finds Peter Luai anyway. And
yeah,
he
Fennell got a piece of that, but couldn't quite take it out of the air.
And it's 17-14 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Brereton over to Reese. Reese with a sneaky pass to Cicatini, and now he has a chance for a three-point play.
And we see how aggressive Zachary Minty is, and he's just got his hands all over everyone, and I think Mohawk is already onto his game, and they're taking advantage of his over-aggression. We saw it there as they pulled a fast one on him. He's a very fast player.
And that play really set up by the basketball IQ of Alex Reese, who just stepped off the court for a breather.
That's right, and Reese has a very unique skill set on the court.
Well, he's a veteran player. This is his 5th and final year with the Mountaineers. He was a part of the championship winning team from 2 years ago, so he's got a lot of experience, and he knows what it takes to win out there on the court.
And we see the Mountaineers' resident sniper, Pat Ivoroni, hitting the court. So replacing some size with sniper in the grass, if you will. As we see Ivoroni take the court often, drain a cadre of threes, and then head back to the bench.
He's really their quick offense guy off the bench. Matt Fennell from downtown, and he splashes another three.
And we talked about tools for another championship at the beginning of the season, and there are some really unique ones that the Mountaineers have at their disposal.
They've got a lot of players that each play their own role, and that really helps them as a unit.
And you see Ivoroni just closing the gap on Chance Goulet.
And Dalhanic able to bring the ball up the court, but he has the ball intercepted, and he gets back on defense and effectively stops the shot. Ivoroni to Fennell, that's his spot, but he passes to Cicatini. Ivoroni wants to fire it.
And we see that situational awareness by Ivoroni, knowing not to take that shot and make that pass.
And Cicatini will head back to the free throw line. This Mountaineers team starting to overwhelm Cambrian a little bit.
But Minty's speed continuing to be a central theme here. He is all over the place for Cambrian.
Misfire on the first free throw. Good on the second. And a 10-point lead for the Mountaineers now, 24-14 with 4:13 to go. Minty with the long pass, and that's intercepted by Ivoroni.
talked about Ivoroni's speed. We saw it there.
Jeff Hunt from the
And that
corner.
vocal defense has no effect whatsoever on this Mountaineers offense.
Tempo is remaining high, but Cambrian's starting to play a little bit sloppy. And the big man, Jeff Hunt, dribbles the ball up court, finds Sikatini, who is grabbed, and he will head back to the free throw line again.
And we're seeing how effective Dalhanic is defensively. He has single-handedly stopped 4 legitimate scoring chances for Cambrian. We're seeing this gap widen as 27-14, a 13-point lead with Sikatini, who is no joke at the free throw line.
Well, it looked as though Cambrian really tried to push the tempo early on, and it worked for the first 5 minutes, but it's starting to get a little sloppy, not everyone pushing the ball in transition, and it's really affecting them so far in the last 2 minutes. They've given up the lead, and now they're down by 14.
And defensively, the calls have been going the Mountaineers' way. I think Fennell has drawn a foul more than once there, and it hasn't been called.
And the rebound to Mohawk. Ivoroni down to Sikatini. And tough break there for the Mountaineers as Sikatini is called for the travel. A lot of traffic, could have gone either way. Might have been a foul call, but.
That's right, that one could have gone either way with all that chaos under the basket.
I think he traveled. And now the tough pressure defense from the Mountaineers results in a turnover and a bucket.
There's that Ivoroni speed, wow.
And Fennell is able to capitalize off the steal. And here's another steal, Jeff Hunt, Sikatini, and it's good.
And we have a timeout called by Richard Whitfield. And I think his team is desperately in need of one. They tried to set this tempo quick, and they were really outworking the Mountaineers early in this half. And
but that's
the
all gone away.
Mountaineers' athleticism just kicks in, and they're able to overpower Cambrian with smart play.
The Mountaineers are on a blazing scoring pace right now. They've got 32 points with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And I think we have a replay coming up here.
Let's
And
take a
we
look
have
at
a steal
Ivoroni's
from
pass
Ivoroni.
here. And just, you see how fast he is, and we talk about him being that quick scorer that comes off the bench.
Okay, so we're 1-2-2 light, back to 2-3, or 3-2. Sorry, 3-2. Hey, keep sharing the ball offensively, okay? Tay, you're on the baseline now, and you're at the high post.
And we hear Jonker.
Okay, whose team?
Jonker, Coach Brian Jonker telling his team to keep up the good work.
That's right, we'll see who will hit the court. It looks like relatively the same. We see Sikatini out, and we got
Alex Reese back in the.
big man Reese in the mix. And Dalhanic getting a nice break after an incredible defensive effort by him. And we'll see what this timeout did for the Golden Shield.
Cambrian struggling a little bit now. Passes aren't as crisp. Mohawk playing tougher defense. Downtown from 3, bangs off the backboard. Long rebound, comes up to Golden Shield and out of bounds. Minty looks incredulous. The ball will go back to the Mountaineers now, and Ivoroni brings it up.
And Ivoroni is so explosive defensively too. You saw him cut off Minty,
Deep 3 off the mark.
who had 3 or 4 solid strides on him, and Ivoroni just shut the door.
And Ivoroni called for a block foul there. It looked like Alex Minty ran into him. It's just 2 players colliding.
And I think he just caught Minty's hand, and that might have been why they called it a block and some lateral movement.
That could have been a no call there, though. I think Minty's been working the refs a little bit so far this game.
Oh, he
Feeling
definitely
a little
has
frustrated.
on the calls into the Mohawk end.
And they referees accommodated him on that play. And ball clangs off the board. Golden Shield have the ball, but Ivoroni knocks it out of bounds. Says, take that. You can't get around my defense. Minty with the ball at the top of the key. Minty from way downtown, no good. Ill-advised shot. Jeff Hunt pushes it up to Ivoroni. Ivoroni to Fennel, he's been on all night so far. Just off the mark, but Jeff Hunt rebounds it. Alex Reese, he finds Fennel down low. He was just, his eyes got so wide when he was wide open under the basket there.
Just a little too much on that pass, and Fennel just stumbled a little with the ball.
I think he was thinking of what kind of dunk he was about to do there. And
Yeah, I think so too.
Just got ahead of himself. The ball is kicked, but no call, and Ivoroni comes up with it, and Fennel makes up for the earlier miscue. Minty pushing the ball all alone now. Maybe should wait for the teammates, but Mohawk blocks the ball and saved in by Jeff Hunt, but to the golden shield.
And Downick is screaming for a call there, and he is not happy.
And now we see the zone defense from the Mountaineers.
And
wide open shot. Just a lapse on defense there as they gave up the wide open look from 3. And Mohawk right now leads 34-17 with 1:15 to go. Alex Reese with a nice pass.
And Reese with those, you talk about those soft hands, and his pass accuracy is on point all day, every day.
You can tell he's got a high basketball knowledge.
That's right, and he is.
Okay, and we have a replay of the last defensive effort by Mohawk coming up
and
here.
And we see Downick is just dominating.
And on that possession there, Minty was really just pushing the tempo, and none of his teammates were with him, and we saw the result was a block.
That's right. The only one near him was Tevin Timothy, and he wasn't even in position yet to receive a pass.
Loose ball now. Looks like we have a foul on the Mountaineers. Out of bounds to the Golden Shield. Everyone is covered. Struggle to get the ball in. Minty from way down. He looks at the rim, wants to shoot it.
And you can tell that Minty is their playmaker. He is the quarterback of their offense.
Ivoroni now. And Minty too tough, too aggressive. Commits the foul.
And Minty just takes a shot at Ivoroni's leg there, and it looked like he might have been half a Charlie horse there. Not really sure what was going through Minty's mind. I think he was trying to get the ball out.
One thing you can't blame him for is playing too hard.
That's true, and he has picked the pocket of more than one Mountaineer here tonight, forcing 3 turnovers.
Ivoroni hits front rim. And Jalen Bailey for the Mountaineers is now in the game, the first-year player. And Ivoroni comes up with the steal.
And Ivoroni taking the body there. That kind of speed, and Caleb Yanchuk was not afraid of any of that.
Yanchuk just camped under the basket in the restricted zone there. Ivoroni will head back to the free throw line.
Ivoroni making up for the last 2 free throws he missed for the Mountaineers. And we have Kevin Cole heading back into the game for Cambrian. And we see Minty taking a breather right now. He's played an exceptional first quarter, believe it or not, for Cambrian.
Mohawk looking to use that pressure defense again. Kevin Cole's able to bust that defense and get it up court. Yanchuk falls down but gets the pass off. Now Braden Ritchie has the ball stolen from him. That's Bailey, the first-year player. Alex Reese handling the ball in traffic, picks it up off the ground.
And we see his coordination, and again, those soft hands are coming into play.
And Reese will head to the free throw line here. First free throw is good.
And Reese again, those hands.
Mohawk with 40 points in the first quarter here. And another steal, chance for more points on the board. Ivoroni to the rim, And 42 points now for the Mountaineers.
And Cambrian needs to shore up
Second.
their own end.
After the whistle, would not have counted. And after one, the score is Mountaineers 42, Golden Shield 17.
And we're going to take a look back at some of the great plays we've seen this quarter in that incredible offense by the Mountaineers.
Here's Matt Fennell to Brereton. And that connection was working early on.
We see Minty here. We talked about him being the playmaker and kind of the quarterback of the Cambrian offense.
Him and Kevin Cole were hitting a lot of threes early on, but that really subsided as the quarter wore on.
That's right. I think it's vital to have Cole and Minty on the court at the same time. So Cambrian has a chance to make something happen, and we see Braden Ritchie get a little flat-footed there.
Here's a look at all the shots that were hitting from all over the court from the Mountaineers, and steals.
And we talked about that speed from Pat Ivoroni, who's just having an incredible game right now. I mean, he's come in before, and we've seen him just start draining threes, and then we see how effective he is down low with the assists. It's just an incredible effort all around by the depth of this Mountaineers team. And Matt Fennell has been exceptional tonight, going 5 for 7 from the point.
And Fennell with 12 points in the first quarter. Fear the stash.
That's right, and we were talking about if you know, the Mo was going to affect his game tonight, and I think it has positively.
Yes, it's the Mohawk Mountaineers Movember on full display.
We see a very different squad coming out to the court right now for the Mountaineers. We see a lot of youngsters hitting the court. Philip Pajik. We see and we got all the youngsters from the Mountaineers on the court right now between Cicatini and Reese. And we'll see how this shapes up against Cambrian.
Yes, the big lead affording Brian Jonker a chance to get some of his rookie players some playing time. And we have Juwan Goldson out on the court right now. Jalen Bailey. And Philip Page. Alex Reese out there with the youngsters now. Cicatini dribbling the ball, nearly picked by Kevin Cole.
Cicatini didn't quite get that. We see Philip Page having a little laugh, thought that he might have been able to get a hold of that. And we talked
Cole
about
bringing the ball up. Good pass by Cole. Luai just unable to convert there, but he will head to the free throw line anyway.
We talked about these youngsters hitting the court. This is valuable experience for them, despite the advantage. Cambrian doesn't seem like they're scoring at the ability that their team is capable of, that we've seen them play in the first couple minutes of the first quarter.
Well, they've got some offensively skilled players out there. Kevin Cole, Peter Luai is good down low. The defense, just too much size by the Mountaineers as the quarter wore on. And Juwan Goldson getting his first bucket of the game.
That's right, Goldson is one of the youngsters on the team. We see Luai.
And rebounded by Cicatini. Cicatini's really been the Mountaineers' most consistent player so far this season. He's coming off a 30-point, 15-rebound effort in their last win against Lambton. Here's Cicatini down low. He gets pushed, and he will head back to the free throw line.
Draws a foul from Braden Ritchie, who's not happy about that. He's having a little conversation with Coach Whitfield.
And Cicatini will attempt his 8th and 9th free throws of the game already early in the second quarter. Misses the first. He's really a down low inside player. He's a strong guy. He's able to move guys off the block, and he has a soft touch around the basket.
And his rebound game is incredible. We've seen him with nearly a dozen rebounds in one quarter of play, believe it or not, in the home opener.
And Kevin Cole gets to the basket, but That move was a little too nice as he's called for the travel.
And we see Ciccatini taking it to the side.
And Jalen Bailey, Coach Brian Jonker able to get some playing time, some valuable minutes for his young players, which might come to help him later on in the season. Page fires up the shot, but that's rebounded by Ciccatini, and he's defended by 3 players. And Kevin Cole almost gets the ball up court, but that's blocked and eventually stolen by Bailey. Kevin Cole
Great recovery by Bailey.
Frustration turnover.
Yeah, great recovery by Bailey there.
Yep, that nearly resulted in 2 points for the Golden Shield going the other way, but Bailey was able to get a hand on the ball and regain possession for the Mountaineers.
And he just threw his whole body up, hoping to get a piece of it, and came up big for the Mountaineers.
Goldson misfires from 3. Chance Goulet now for the Golden Shield, passes over to Kevin Cole. Kevin Cole looking to set up the offense. Everybody's covered though. This zone defense is tough to crack. Shot clock winding down now. Kevin Cole will have to create something. Spin move, step back 3, and he clanks it off the backboard, but rebounded by the Golden Shield, and they'll have another chance. Good position there, and just misfire. Ciccatini nearly came up with a rebound. You hardly ever see him not come up with a rebound in traffic, but the Golden Shield will take possession.
And you can see the communication between Cole and Luai trying to make something happen for their team, trying to spark a play, and that zone defense is just
it's tough
canvassing
when you've got a lot of size on this Mountaineers team, and a lot of these Golden Shield players, as Chance Goulet hits the 3, a lot of these Golden Shield players are well undersized compared to this Mountaineers squad. And Page fires a 3. He looked surprised when he got the ball. He thought, maybe I'll just shoot this. No good.
I think Page has a good inherent ability to judge whether you pass, you move the ball, or you take the shot. And he hasn't really hit anything yet in this quarter, but he's been getting those good looks, and he's been reading them right.
Well, absolutely, Greg. He had that shot. He was open. He just needs to shoot it with a little more confidence, I think. He looks surprised almost to be that wide open. And I watched him during practice. He can knock down a lot of shots from the outside. Yanchuk fires it over to Olafalo, and he gets the bucket. Matt Fennell now back in the game for the Mountaineers. And a mix of veterans and young players now in the game for the Mountaineers. Ciccatini misfires on the pass, and Cambrian heads the other way. Kevin Cole now looking to take the ball right to the basket and right around Matt Fennell. We have a timeout here. The score is the Mountaineers 45, the Golden Shield 24, with 6:26 to go.
And we've seen Mohawk offense starting to turn down the intensity a little bit, maybe getting those younger players in, but there's nothing more valuable than some practical experience with these guys, and who better to learn from than members of that former championship team like Reese and Ciccatini.
Well, that's right, Greg. Well, it's been the best of times and the worst of times so far for the Mountaineers, but after only 3 points in 3.5 minutes of this second quarter, they've been able to get some valuable experience for players who might not have played if this game were a little bit closer. After that offensive outburst in the first quarter of 42 points, I was kind of hoping to see, I don't know, 200 points on the board tonight.
They were on pace for that.
At least 168 or so, if my inferior math skills can try to calculate that number.
I was going to go with something a little more round, like 120, but that's fair, Kyle.
Oh, no, I want to see 150, 160 points.
I wonder if that would be an OCAA record.
We should have somebody look that up for us.
Yeah, I think we should have someone look that up for us.
And now Page with the ball to Goldson. And we see these young players committing a turnover against this aggressive defense by Cambrian coming out of the timeout.
That's right, and that's when the little mistakes happen, traveling, double dribble.
And we were able to see this Cambrian team coming out of the timeout. They're very vocal, just as they were to start the game. And that was kind of throwing the Mountaineers off a little bit. It was something that they got away from. And now coming out of that timeout, they've been a lot more vocal on defense, causing some confusion.
Yeah, I think they've been getting in the Mountaineers' head, to be honest.
And that's something that we've seen so far from this the Mountaineers this season. As good as these guys are, and they have a lot of talented players, in that first game of the season against Redeemer, they were a little shaken at times.
A little inconsistent, that's right. We saw Dalhanik's offensive woes in that game, and really, we talked about consistency, and Cicatini is the template for consistency. He is just exceptional, hardworking in every game.
Now the Mountaineers come in with some pressure of their own on defense. And Goldson misfires on the push shot there.
And we see Ivoroni and Jeff Hunt heading in. And the Mountaineers getting possession. Ivoroni's going to set this one up. And we see the Mo draining the three tonight. And Downick getting that back, and Hunt losing it. And Cicatini getting in there. That's a holding, and it looks like Mohawk will get possession, and Ivoroni will take it.
Ivoroni calling out a play from the sidelines now. The referee's just working out a shot clock issue right now.
That's right, I think it was winding down a few seconds after, and then it was reset.
Ivoroni finds Dalhanik. Cicatini down low.
And Cicatini draws another foul down low.
And this foul will be a non-shooting one. Dalhanik finds Jeff Hunt. Cicatini to a cutting Ivoroni, tips the ball nicely to Dalhanik, and he scores.
With the nifty little pass there, he couldn't quite get a hold of it.
It was kind of too strong of a pass by Cicatini, but Ivoroni able to make the adjustment and just tip it to Dalhanik with a nice little hook shot of his own.
We see Ivoroni and Dalhanik just giving each other the nod.
And now it is 50-30 for the Mountaineers.
And we have X getting ready to enter this game.
Ivoroni just picks the pocket of the Cambrian player, and he's off to the races. And he's able to go for the three-point opportunity now.
And one. Here comes Ivoroni to the, is it the charity stripe, Kyler?
Yep, 3 points. And we have some numbers here, Greg. It looks like the Mountaineers are going to have to pick up the scoring pace a little bit if they want to set the single-game OCA record for most points, which would be 187 by George Brown College.
They were almost on pace for that. I don't think so much now.
You know what? They weren't even on pace after that explosive first quarter to come close to 187. George Brown players, if you're out there listening, you can rest easy. Your record will not be breached tonight. Brereton checks back into the game, and he's wide open under the basket for an easy layup.
He made his presence known.
And now the Cambrian Golden Shield offense looking a little scattershot now. They're able to focus coming out of the timeout and at the start of the game, but just not able to maintain that consistency for any stretch of time.
And Zach Minty a little rattled that he dropped that, and I cannot repeat what was said on the court just now.
No, we have censors, Greg. We can't do that.
That's right. Anton Alfalo leaves the court as Luai comes back in.
Matt Fennell just off the mark. Minty with the rebound. He's pushing the tempo now. He looks to thread the needle, and he gets a pass into Yanchuk, but he misfires, and it's one and done for the Golden Shield.
Nothing but Mountaineers under that net.
And Chance Goulet tips it away, but Mohawk ball nonetheless.
And Brereton, not a lot of minutes yet in the game, but he's been effective when he is on the court.
Cambrian coach Richard Whitfield pacing the sidelines a little bit right now. Looks a little out of sorts. Throwing his hands up in the air now. He's not happy with the performance from his team at this time.
Jeff Hunt just kind of smacks that ball back in.
And that's not going to make him any happier as the turnover is committed by Luai. Ivoroni waits to pick up the ball and now picks it up and pushes the tempo. Brereton finds Matt Fennell, who is wide open, and we have a whistle on the field. And there's Coach Richard Whitfield calling out a play to his team right now.
Caleb Yanchuk's going to take that one. And we see Mo the Hawk in the corner looking very worried.
I don't know why he's looking so worried over there. He should be doing some sort of moonwalk dance. And a huge block from Jeff Hunt there. Ivoroni struggles for the ball. He needs to look to get it to Brereton. Brereton tries to find Ivoroni. But that is Zachary Minty diving all over the floor.
And Minty is just such an explosive player. I mean,
on defense, he sure is.
He is incredible so far tonight, despite the deficit.
He's working really hard, but he's not, his team is just not getting any benefit from it in the scoreboard right now.
Right, no one on.
Ivoroni follows his own shot.
No one on Cambrian really matching Minty's intensity. Maybe one of the issues Coach Whitfield is having.
Minty cross-court pass now. That's Yanchuk with the ball to Luai. Good defense by Dow Hannick, but he just hit Luai on the arm at the end of the play. Free throws upcoming.
We got Luai at the point now, ready to take these. And a 26-point lead is a hard hole to dig yourself out of.
Richard Whitfield will be looking for answers.
Especially with a minute left in the half.
Cambrian battling for the rebound down low, but out of bounds. Mohawk ball.
Jeff Hunt's going to take this.
Ivoroni calling out the play now. Mishandles the ball, but maintains it.
A smart play by him. He lost the ball, and Minty got a piece of it, and he just let it go.
Ball kind of bouncing around out of the hands of the Mountaineers players at this juncture.
I didn't see whose hand that was off of, whether it was Dow Hannick or Luai.
I'm pretty sure that was Luai. Good job by the refs there. Good call. Keep up the good work.
I'm sure they pine for your praise, Kyler.
Well, you know what? We haven't really talked about them much at all this game, and I'd say that's a benefit to the referees. Yanchuk now working against a double team. Chance Goulet fires it inside, but kicked ball.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of blocks and such from down low. Just Mountaineers' legs everywhere, blocking balls.
Cambrian players just trying to struggle to find those passes inside a little bit too much when they aren't there. Chance Goulet now passes to Yanchuk as the clock winds down. Brereton tips the ball, keeps it alive to Ivoroni, and the Mountaineers are off to the races. Ivoroni calls his own number. Nothing but net on the layup. Brereton with the steal, maintains the ball, blocked. In a battle for the ball, the Golden Shield come away with it. Yanchuk to Goulet. Off the mark, Minty wide open. That looked almost like a volleyball play. He just pushed it right back up into the net.
I was just gonna say, I'm not sure if this is basketball or volleyball right now, but I'm sure the Golden Shield will take it.
Zach Minty, we'll have to check if he plays on the Cambrian volleyball team. Ivoroni with the shot clock winding down, finds Dow Hannock down low, draws the foul. And Minty with some choice words. We're gonna have to get our censors to bleep that out.
I think the censors are gonna have to have an itchy trigger finger tonight. And we see Minty taking his seat right now on the bench.
Dow Hannock gets the rebound and fires with 1 second left in the half off the mark. And it is 59-33 after 2 quarters of play here at the David Braley Athletic Recreation Center.
An incredibly intense half of play from both teams now.
Well, that's right, Greg. After 42 points in the first quarter by the Mountaineers, they scored 17 in the second. But it didn't matter as they held Cambrian to only 16, and they maintain a large lead.
That's right, so let's talk about some of the highlights of the game so far, and Dow Hannock's defensive effort, and of course Alex Reese, who's standing right in front of us right now. And John Tonin is courtside with Alex Reese right now.
Alex, what adjustments are you going to make in the second half?
We got to pick up our defense. We allowed too much points, so we just got to shift over more on the zone and not allow them to hit open threes.
Should we expect a press again? Because your press was really successful in generating points.
Yeah, we'll be pressing a lot because they turn the ball over pretty easily.
Right. Thank you. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah.
Oh, back.
And thank you, John, for that interview with Alex Reese.
And thank you for that incredible throwback to us, John. That was exceptional there. So we talked about Alex Reese and those hands, and you don't expect
big man with the sneaky passes.
That's right, and I mean he's very agile too. It's not just his passes; it's just full control over his facilities as a basketball player, and he's got that great basketball intellect too. Right place, right time kind of mentality.
And Mohawk with a large lead so far in the first half, and we will be back with more basketball action in just a little bit. And welcome back. The second half is about to get underway between the Mohawk Mountaineers and the Cambrian Golden Shield. It is 59-33 after a half of play.
That's right, Kyler, and we saw in the first quarter the Mountaineers dominated, outscoring Cambrian 42-17, but a little bit more of an even quarter in the second, 17-16 for the Mountaineers.
That's right, Greg. It was basically an even quarter in the second, but Mountaineers were able to maintain their large lead based on their quality play in the first quarter.
That's right. We're going to take a look back at some highlights from the first half of this game. And we can see the youngsters chipping in here, and it was a good opportunity for Brian Jonker to get some of his first-year guys out on the court and get that incredibly valuable, practical experience under their belt, right, Kyler?
Yes, that's right, Greg. Juwan Goldson was one of the players that benefited from that playing time that he got from that huge lead that Mohawk.
And Bailey forced some great turnovers as well during the quarter when he was on the court. He had a solid 5 minutes in there where he had a great defensive effort and 2 buckets.
And we have Coach Richard Whitfield talking to his team now. I expect to see this Cambrian team come out very loud and vocal to start this second half, as they did to start the game and coming out of timeouts in the first half.
And you know, they're incredibly susceptible to that full court press. And we didn't really see Cambrian start to do something until they started digging into their bench. And we're seeing a little bit of depth from the Golden Shield bench right now, because that's really when they can only get something going. And you know, having Loai out there and having Cole, it creates playmaking ability for the Golden Shield.
And we're underway here in the second half. Alex Reese passes it to Matt Fennell, who is a participant of Mountaineers Movember. And Cicatini with the basket down low.
Oh, and almost a great steal there by big man Alex Reese, who we talked to at the half. We also talked about the press, and he's a big part of that for the Mountaineers.
Just barely committed the foul there. That was close. Almost snuck up behind Yanchuk.
That was a good call. He just barely had some contact there.
And Cambrian pushes it the other way now. And here's Kevin Cole, who had some quality minutes in the first half. He calls out the play. And it looks like number 6 will run around a number of screens and pass it down to Luai. And that is number 6, Brandon Ritchie, with the three-pointer.
And it's not often a little man gets one by Downick.
Cicatini going to pass it to Dowhannick. Tipped away by Kevin Cole, and now Kevin Cole on the breakaway being chased down by Dowhannick. He'll have to reel it out and set up the offense once again. Wide open for Kevin Cole, and he gets called for traveling.
A little bit of a travel call there as Dowhannick putting on the pressure.
Brereton, he played some early minutes and was very effective, but we didn't see him for long stretches. You think that's a factor of Mohawk wanting to get their young players in the game?
I think it was, and also I think maybe Coach Jonker's formula for facing this team required the skill set of other players more so than Brereton, despite the chemistry with him and Matt Fennell on the court.
And the ball comes over to the half-court table here. Turned over, Mountaineers ball.
And we see Matt Fennell, and you can barely see that mustache, I guess.
It's a whisper.
It's a whisper.
Mustache.
So fragile.
Fennell to Brereton. Brereton looking to find Alex Reese, who drives inside. And Cicatini strong on the boards, as always.
And I thought Cicatini was going to put that one away, but he decided to try and get control of it.
And he's called for the travel there, but it seems every time he has the ball down low, he's facing 2 or 3 defenders, and can't really be blamed there after the tough rebound. Could have been a foul.
That's right. When you get three players collapsing on you, it's kind of hard not to travel. Bodies going everywhere.
Now, Yanchuk
And
jumper
Dowhannick
from the elbow.
upset that he missed out on that play and misread that.
Brereton to Dowhannick. Cicatini is open down low, and now he's not open, covered by 2 players, and he draws a foul.
And you can tell that he was being careful not to incur another travel call.
And the coach of the Cambrian Golden Shield not happy with the call, yelling out orders to his team. Brereton to Fennell. Fennell with incredible mustache powers as he hits another 3 in this game.
That's right. We must ask him a question after.
Oh, I see what you did there. And here's Luai down low. And the scoring really even so far in this quarter. Mohawk really coasting on the strength of that quality first quarter that got them the big lead. Now Brereton goes to work. He's fast on the dribble. He gets it down to Alex Reese, who is blocked, and the Mountaineers will keep the ball.
Great effort there, just nothing but ball, getting that out of Reese's hands. We see Coach Jonker there.
Matt
Screaming
Fennell
out some plays for
passes to Cicatini, just off the mark, but he keeps it alive, and he gets his own rebound. Unbelievable. Alex Reese open now, off the mark. Luai with the rebound. Cambrian looks to push it.
And Cambrian visibly trying to shut down Cicatini because they know how incredible he is down low.
Dowhanick yells, unhappy with the defensive effort there. Fennell with the rebound, being held the entire way up the court by Yanchuk, and finally a foul is called by the referee.
And Mo Fennell looking relieved. Oh, pardon me, Matt Fennell, not Mo Fennell. Slip of the tongue, Kyler.
I'll allow it, Greg.
And you can see that they're trying to dismantle Cicatini, and they're only just barely doing it with 4 guys collapsing on him.
Brereton now works off the dribble. This is really where he excels. Now stops his dribble and passes to Cicatini. Good movement by the Mountaineers. Dowhanick tries to hold on to the ball. Cicatini.
And we see how deadly he is down low. He just kind of works his way through all the bodies and is able to get one in the bucket.
That's really his office down there. He just puts on his hard hat and his lunch pail, and he goes to work down low.
That's right. There's some pictures of family. He has a mouse pad with some cats on it.
Anyway, Alex Reese has the ball now, and he passes to Matt Fennell. And we have a charging foul. Ball going back to Cambrian. And the lead is 28, 68 to 40 for the Mountaineers with 5:56 to go in the third quarter. Coach Brian Jonker looking on at his team.
We see that Mountaineers bench all smiles right now with this 28-point lead.
And Patrick Ivaroni and Jeff Hunt get set to check back in the game.
That's right, in this duo, we talk about
Cicatini with the rebound.
Talk about the
Fennell to Brereton. That's that connection that we talked about in the first half, and it pays off again.
That's right, and I think we have another one building between Jeff Hunt and Pat Ivaroni. 2 ends of the spectrum in play style, and they complement each other well on the court.
And Kevin Cole pulls up for the air ball.
And he was hungry, had an air biscuit. They're very filling, Tyler.
Yep. Brereton from the corner. That's not really his game.
Brereton, nonetheless, he's a good release, and he does have a good shot, even though that's not his forte, per se.
He really excels on ball handling and playmaking.
That's right. He has some incredibly accurate passes. We've seen him thread the needle through.
And he's got some great handles, too. Some quick crossover moves. He's always able to find an open teammate. And he looks to pass the ball as a first option. And will only take the shot when he's wide open as he was on that last play.
But I think that this is their playmaking unit on the court right now.
Ivaroni pushes the ball up court. Cambrian struggling to set up their defense, and Matt Fennell scores.
That's right, you look at these guys on the court right now, and it is definitely their playmaking unit for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, Chance Goulet holding the ball. A lot of holding the ball from the Cambrian offense. A lot of holding the ball and standing around. Now here's Goulet.
And he will take that one.
Roll. Is it roll up the rim time yet? I don't think so.
And our producer is waving her head no.
Nope.
She's very disappointed in you not knowing when roll up the rim is.
Now Brett. Ivaroni to Brereton. Brereton pulls up off the mark. Jeff Hunt keeps it alive.
And Brereton seemed to float as he received that pass. And we see Anton Ufalo heading in for Luai, who's had a great game so far. And the youngster Bailey heading in for Brereton, and we saw him with a great defensive effort and 2 buckets in his short time on the court.
Well, that's right, Greg. He seems to, even though he's a first-year player, he seems to be one of the younger players that Coach Brian Jonker really trusts, and he throws him out there even in key moments in games that are close.
And I feel like he's one of the first players to really be in his comfort zone, and that allows you to focus on your game more when you're comfortable with the people you're on the court with.
Well, he comes out there, he plays hard defense, and he looks to make plays, so you're always going to find playing time for a kid like that. Shot clock winding down now. Cambrian yet to get into their offense. Now here's Braden Ritchie from the same spot off the mark. And Matt Fennell lets the ball go out of bounds.
And Fennell really smart with that play there. Tipped it, bounced off a Cambrian player, and then he just let her go. And we see Bailey taking point on this one.
Ivoroni feeds Dow Hannock inside. And we have a foul call on the floor.
We'll see if it's a shooting foul. It is not.
Mohawk ball out of bounds. Jeff Hunt down low, looked like he got hit, but got the basket anyway.
Caleb Yanchuk draining that one.
Matt Fennell looks to feed Dow Hannock down low, who's fouled by number 14 for Cambrian, and that is Anton Ulafalo.
And Devin Timothy, forgetting he had his shirt on, a little too excited to get out on the court. And he'll be replacing Caleb Yanchuk.
He just wants to get out there, Greg. He wants to play some basketball.
Sometimes you just get a little excited and you forget to take your clothes off, Kyler.
You never forget about that, though, do you, Greg?
Let's focus on basketball now, Kyler.
Let's do that. And Dow Hannock misses the second free throw.
And it looks like we have a player down on the court right now. Tashwan Costa took a little bit of a bump there. Just a little winded. Doesn't look like he's going to be heading off.
And Dow Hannock keeps it alive, and he's able to score off the missed free throw. And now the tough defense by Mohawk on display.
And Bailey put a little too much on that. Drew the foul. Broke up the play, and his teammates were very happy about that. We have Ian Assing on the court right now, another youngster for Mohawk.
And Braden Ritchie connects on both free throws for Cambrian. Dow Hannock down low again scores. And the score is 81-47 with 2 minutes to go. Bailey with a nice steal. Sorry, acing.
And we're just talking about acing coming out on the court now and him being effective immediately, and that's what you as a coach would like to see from your young players, just hitting the court right away.
Absolutely, Greg. He's able to fit right in with this aggressive style of trapping defense. Unfortunately, the turnover on the other end. But that's okay. You'll allow that after you just got your team an extra possession. And Ivaroni with the steal, and he's off to the races. Spin move down low, great play by Ivaroni.
And Ivaroni taking advantage of his lack of size to get around people and just that explosive speed.
Just put Cambrian in the spin cycle there. Luai off the mark. Ivaroni comes up with the rebound. And Mohawk looking to push the tempo here. Here's Acing, now the young player. Bailey outside, off the mark. Jeff Hunt mistimes his jump, but gets the rebound anyway. And now it's Ivaroni from the top of the key. Dow Hannock with the rebound. Second chance, second and third chance points, just killing Cambrian right now.
And those offensive rebounds are just coming up huge. Take a look at Ivaroni again on that exceptional play. And we talked about his lack of size and that incredible speed, and he just bobs and weaves through everyone, and he just puts Cambrian in the spin cycle.
Cambrian losing a little bit of steam now as this third quarter comes to a close with 25 seconds left. Mohawk just working the clock now. Ivaroni just firing when he gets it, though.
Had a big smile on his face after that. And we see Coach Whitfield is not happy with this.
Ivaroni knocks the ball out, and the quarter comes to a close. Mohawk has 87 points, Cambrian 47.
And a solid 40-point lead. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more youngsters coming into the fourth quarter. And we're just going to take a look back at some of the great plays in this game. And we just see Cicatini. We talked about his consistency and, you know, him setting up shop down low. That's where he lives. On the big man Reese right here with those great hands, not giving up on plays.
Here's Yanchuk for the Golden Shield with a nice hook shot. Matt Fennell, he's been on fire to start this game and really throughout.
And it seems like, you know, Matt Fennell just every time X touches the ball, the next person to get it is Fennell, and he just can't miss.
They really have a symbiotic relationship, you could say, where they just know each other. Each player is going to be on the court.
I agree. Now, Mohawk was able to come back in this third quarter and outscore Cambrian 28-14, so a little less of an even matchup that we've seen as we did in the second quarter, where, you know, Mohawk only outscored them by 1 point.
Well, they really took advantage down low with their size and second and third chance opportunities, multiple rebounds in the end of that third quarter to establish the large lead.
And the story of the night is Matt Fennell with 22 points, going 9 for 12 and 5 for 6 on the twos. Just, wow. That mustache is magical, Kyler.
Like you said, Greg, we mustache him what he did to prepare for this game.
It is. I'm sure that it's affecting his game. Maybe he'll have Movember going on for the rest of the year. Maybe he'll go full Ivaroni with the Movem beard.
Oh, I thought it was Decem beard, but Ivaroni getting it going early in November here. And back to basketball now. Cambrian inbounds the ball.
And we see all youngsters on the court now.
That's right, Greg. Brian Jonker throwing all of his young players out on the court at the same time now, looking to get them some experience. And Luai sees that, and he takes advantage. You know, he wants to still score some points.
That's right, and we see some of these young guys. We see the speed on Neil Santos.
There's Acing with the three-pointer, nothing but net.
And you can see these youngsters are no joke either. Looking at the future of Mountaineer basketball here.
And this is really going to be helpful going into tomorrow's game, Greg. As you know, the Mountaineers will play a doubleheader starting tomorrow afternoon against the same Cambrian Golden Shield team.
And it's even more effective. We see that three there. It's even more effective because
with the three.
now it's all your youngsters are on the court right now, and they can get practical experience building chemistry with each other, not just the veterans on the team that may not be here next year.
On the veterans who are resting up and feeling good. Established a nice lead, and now these young players can come in and show us what they've got. There's a foul on number 33, Juwan Goldson.
Goldson's been playing really exceptional. I mean, he had that bucket. He just drew this foul and broke up the play. He's been playing really well for the Mountaineers, and him and Bailey, I think, are going to be some of the permanent faces we're going to see going into the future and kind of be the cornerstones of this new Mountaineers team that will be coming through in the next few years.
Absolutely. And Tayshawn Costa with a couple of free throws. Outlet pass, Cambrian just forgets about Mohawk player there. And that was Bailey just leaking out, sneaking out behind the defense of the Golden Shield. Here's Page now dribbling the ball inside the key, and he has his pocket picked. Shield heading the other way now. Blue Eye, unfamiliar territory, out 40 feet away from the basket.
And Cambrian looking to catch Mohawk flat-footed.
Good recovery there by Goldson, forcing Cambrian into a tough look.
And then we see Tevin Timothy's arm get all tangled up as Page is trying to move up the court. And Goldson's going to take this for the Mountaineers, and we see Luai heading off for Cassidy Camacho.
And it looks like Cambrian coach Richard Whitfield is throwing in the white towel right now, sending all his bench players. And a nice little crossover move there by Santos.
And Ian Asen coming up big. And these young guys are looking very effective and very good right now. We also have Stephen Deli on court for Mohawk.
And the play is getting a little bit sloppy now with the second unit in. But Mohawk looks like they will easily surpass the 100-point barrier, sitting at 97 right now with 7:17 left to play. And this would be their highest scoring game of the year. If they're able to put one more point on the board. Santos showing off his handles, passes over to Goldson, skip pass to Bailey. Bailey has to fire it up now against the clock. That almost went in, but that is not a good look. Even though your second unit is in right here, you really want them to run all the same plays that you would expect your first unit to do. And
that's right, and you don't
have a charging foul here.
You don't want that shot clock to wind down ever, and you don't want that to become a trend for your offense either.
No, you see a little bit of one-on-one play here with the younger players that have checked into the game. You want to continue to run your offense and, you know, just to get that continuity.
And we see Bailey taking a breather now.
And turnover headed Cambrian's way, and Santos steals it right back. He's got some quickness in him. Pulls up, And he splashes a jumper.
And Santos is very small, but he's incredibly athletic, and that's a big part of his game.
You can tell he's got the quickness, too, to make up for his lack of size. Corner three, no good, off the mark, rebound to the Mountaineers. Goldson pushes the ball, Santos has it. Goldson, he fires the three, and that is good, no question about it. No hesitation at all from Juwan Goldson.
And we're seeing some great chemistry on the court right now between Goldson and Santos. They seem to be on the same page offensively. We got a call now. And we have Richard Whitfield calling a timeout for his Golden Shield. So Kyle, let's talk about some of these youngsters that are out on the court right now.
Well, we've seen Neil Santos with a nice pull-up jumper. He's come up with a steal at half court. And he's displayed some nice ball handling ability. Juwan Goldson, who's played a lot of minutes so far in this game. He's hit a lot of outside jumpers. Yeah,
Goldson's had some great accuracy so far in the game, and he seems to be a presence on the course as well. He's a little bit more of a playmaker, I think, and you can see that there's chemistry building between these young guys already on the court.
Goldson's got good size as well, which could really be key if he's inserted with the first unit for the defensive pressure that the Mountaineers like to apply for 40 minutes of the game.
And you know, we have not a lot of big bulked up guys here, and if Goldson were to become one of those guys, he definitely has the speed and the form to be an incredibly effective big man too.
And Coach Brian Jonker was telling his young players to get a hand up in the face of the Cambrian shooters.
Two guys in the back there, nobody said a word to him. That's not his turnover, that's yours.
And that'll be it for the timeout. We see Bailey Santos. Goldson is having a little conversation with Santos right now, getting him hyped up.
Here we go with Cambrian now, throwing the ball inbounds. For the Mountaineers, bring the ball up the court to Santos, who pulls up, and that shot is just short. Open three, and contested by Delay, and he picks up the foul.
Yeah, Delay looks like he got a piece of that as it went up, and it just fell a little short. He's gonna have a little chat with Jonker right now.
We've got 3 free throws coming up for Cambrian.
And Cambrian getting a little vocal now against this younger squad.
They're looking a little rough and tumble out there now, players diving on the court.
And Bailey's having a laugh. like, is that on me? You gotta be kidding. And we see the Cambrian main unit coming out. Gonna try to get some points on the board in the last couple minutes against this young Mountaineers team that's on the court right now. We'll see how they fare against the top unit from the Golden Shield.
Minty off the mark.
And Santos.
You know, I thought he was going to go in for the dunk there, Greg.
I wasn't
Didn't you think
sure.
that? Santos with a nice layup. And Kevin Cole has the ball now. Braden Ritchie works around the outside perimeter. Back to Kevin Cole. Shot clock winding down to 7 now. Kevin Cole with the spin move, loses it right to Luai. And that was a fortunate turn of events for Luai as the ball just ended up right in his lap as he was under the basket.
We see Page just miss that pass, kind of fumble it and bounces out. Bailey. And in and out, that is crushing.
Santos with the rebound down low, working hard.
And Santos just
shaking up a little bit.
Does not care. Just taking it all. Great effort by him.
Just a reckless abandon under the basket there. He comes up limping a little bit, but he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Looking like we have some wardrobe issues here.
Santos off on the first. Good on the second.
And we've got Goldson heading back in for the Mountaineers. And Santos coming off. I think he might have been a little banged up on that last play under the net. And Ritchie almost taking a ball in the face there. Smooth moves by Stephen Deli.
And here's Juwan Goldson firing another 3. Hits back rim, tipped, kept alive by Bailey.
Interesting play by Bailey, a little unorthodox, but I'm sure the Mountaineers will take it.
And Bailey now, the handle gets stripped, and that's Minty. Minty with the layup off the mark. Rebounded nearly by Page. Goldson, no.
And it's a hot
And it's
potato under the net.
Out of bounds, Mountaineers ball.
And Goldson kind of whiffs on that one as Minty gets another steal. Just a little short there.
And Bailey brings the ball up court now in the final 2 minutes of this game. Mohawk Mountaineers 105, Cambrian Golden Shield 56. And here's Page. He's a shooter, but he drives to the basket here, and that's off the mark. Rebound kept alive to Goldson. And we'll stay with the Mountaineers.
And it's great to see some players push out of their comfort zone and try something, and you never know, you might discover an aspect of your game that you didn't have before, and a good effort by Goldson there under the net. And I think they're handling this Cambrian A team rather well, Kyler, with their youngsters.
Yeah, they've played them about even so far, but Cambrian starting unit has had a rough go of it early on in the game. They expended a lot of energy both defensively and offensively against the Mohawk first unit. And Santos skies for the rebound off the Luai miss. We have a foul call.
Little guy coming up big under the net there.
And we have a foul on Zach Minty as he checks out of the game. Santos misfires on the free throw.
Santos, kind of a presence so far.
He's really made his minutes count for the most so far.
You see him here very aggressive defensively.
Skip pass, finds the corner. Dribble drive move, blocked by Goldson. There's that length that we were talking about. He has all the tools to be a great defensive player.
Yeah, and reminiscent of Dalhanic's play style too. Maybe he's learned a thing or two from the big man. Page getting that rebound after 2 offensive rebounds by Cambrian.
Acing working the ball now. Goldson over to Santos. Santos pulls up with a nice looking jumper and hits nothing but net.
And if you're Cambrian right now and you're just getting overwhelmed by these freshmen with 23 seconds left, I think they'd be a little demoralized, and it also makes a statement for tomorrow's game.
That's right, Greg. These two teams will face off against each other tomorrow afternoon right here at the David Braley Athletic Recreation Center.
And Bailey with some smooth moves.
And now clock winds down for the Mountaineers. Solid win by Mohawk, and they will improve to 3-1 on this young season.
And youngsters, I mean, Brian Jonker is probably really pleased with the way his first years have been performing tonight.
I'm sure he's just happy to get some of them in the game for some quality experience against a real.
Yeah, and that opportunity to build practical chemistry on the court is vitally important to building your team.
And we have some highlights from the game coming up right now. Let's take a look at them. Here's the long distance three, and the three ball was really working early on for Cambrian, but kind of faded away as the game wore on. And we see the long distance shot from Fennell here.
You know, that pass from Brereton and that continued chemistry between them and Brereton's playmaking ability.
And Cambrian was able to hit a few outside shots, but it was really the Mountaineers coming at Cambrian from all angles, inside, outside, getting to the free throw line.
You take an aggressive zone defense and then you put Dalhanic right in the middle of that, and that is a recipe for effective defense.
That's right, he is their anchor.
Let me see, big man Reese here, we talked to at the half.
Dalhanic with the inside move. And it was really a total team effort by the Mountaineers.
That's right, and that depth in their bench has never been more apparent than tonight, and how effective their youngsters were against the starting unit of Cambrian was a great effort all around by the team.
Well, the starters for the Mountaineers were able to play so well that they got a lot of playing time out there for the young guys, and the Mountaineers put up 108 points. That's a new season high for them.
That's right. And I mean, and to do it with your youngsters is just even more of a testament to looking forward for the team and looking in the future for how this team is going to shape up over the next couple of years when these veterans move on.
And we have a game coming up tomorrow afternoon between Cambrian Golden Shield and the Mohawk Mountaineers at 2 p.m.
That's right. We're going to see these teams face off again. And I think this is kind of a recipe for disaster for Cambrian. I'm sure they don't want to come back into this building for a second night and fall to
I don't know if they'll be able to
women's
sleep
teams
tonight,
like
Greg.
that. It's gonna be a tough one for them, but we did see Cambrian was able to compete in the second quarter. They were effective defensively. They generated some offensive ability, and they might have a chance if they can replicate that second quarter tomorrow against the Mountaineers.
And we will see you tomorrow afternoon as the Mountaineers look to improve their record once again tomorrow afternoon. I'm Kyler Sanderson.
And I'm Greg Rosser.
Thanks for watching.